What's going on, everybody? This is Joe with FBA Basecamp. Today, I'm going to show you how to do some manual sourcing using AZ Insight. I'm going to go on Rack Room Shoes, which is a site that I do order from, but I don't do a whole bunch of manual sourcing on, mainly because shoes are not a specialty of mine. So, when friends of mine in these different groups will refer them, I'll go to them, or if my VA picks some stuff out or I see them on a leads list, I'll go and take a look and see what happens and poke around. But in this case, since you have all asked how you manual source site and how you get good at doing a site, I figured let's do it together. So what I'm going to be doing is going through these. Like I said, I use AZ Insight, which is a little bit different than what some of you may use. I like it particularly for doing things like shoes and items that have a lot of variations. Because there is a variation viewer in there that also has out of stock items, which is something that's nice and it comes up nicely on the screen. If you are not part of our free Discord or free Facebook group, go ahead and join that. You go to fbabasecamp.com. That you put your email in once, and you can get over to it and have the links to click on those, as well as some additional links to ungating guides and all that kind of stuff. So let's get right to it. So what I'll do is I noticed on here they have this extra fireworks sale thing that's $20 off $100 or more, which I'm sure I would spend $100. But they also have this buy one get one 50% off, which puts 25% off each item. I talked to a few other friends. Sadiq was one of them. That's in one of the other groups. I'm not sure if you know him, but he gave me some kind of insider tips when sourcing this, and talked to a few other people. And basically said that to stay out of the getting cancels on this, you want to do the 5 orders in one day. 11 items per order would be what you want to stick to. 15 orders in a 7-day period, and then 25 orders in a 30-day period. So if you're ordering that kind of quantity, you kind of want to dial it down. But in this case, if you're going to place 5 orders, and they're all going to be 100 or right around 100, you might as well put in this fireworks code each time, get an additional 20 off, and pretty much anything that I'm going to source on here, I imagine is going to be good at that kind of price with the 50% or the 20, well, which will be 25% off of each. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. I don't know what brands everybody is ungated in, so I'm gonna just kind of click on a few of them. We'll go through, and you can kind of let me know in the comments if there's certain brands where you're just like, hey, I'm hard gated in this stuff like Nike. I know some of you can't get into. Converse might be the same. So if that's the case, let me know, and I'll go ahead and we can kind of source some other stuff on there. So basically, I'll go in, I'll click on the sale. On here, like they have the sale items, but I also want to make sure that it's eligible because it says promotions eligible. So on this site, there it is. So I know you can click here. So over 2,600 items are eligible. There's a bunch of stuff on here that I probably don't want to source or don't know a whole lot about. So I'll go through and I'll click on some of the ones I like. So Adidas 101 there. If it clicks through, there it goes. Asics I used to like, but I know that they're now kind of cracking down on some stuff, so you may want to stay away from them. That might be something that you don't want. Brooks can be good. Carter's only got one, but I like them. We got Cole Haan, I believe, is still good. Converse. I know they're all going to yell at me for Crocs. I know it comes up as IP complaints. I've never gotten an IP complaint on Crocs. I've gotten a lot of random emails from people that are obviously not affiliated with Crocs. Crocs has never sent me anything or made me scared in any way to not want to continue selling them. I know it comes up, kind of treat it as your own thing. If you feel comfortable with it, continue selling it. Shouldn't be an issue. Let's see if there's anything else you want to get on here. Probably Nike. Hey, dude, I know they're sending out a lot of messages. I don't know if it's scare tactics, but I've seen a lot of stuff popping up lately on that. So we'll stay away from there for right now until I know more about it. There's plenty of other stuff to source. I think Merrill does the same thing. I think the Minnetonka is good, but there's only 3 there. New Balance I like. Nike. Move myself out of the way here. We'll do Puma. I like Skechers, but there's just so many of them that it becomes a pain. Sperry I like too, but a lot of times Amazon's on a ton of those, which is not bad. I have no problem selling with them, but sometimes the price is just so low. I do like them for flips on the 8A flips, but for this case, I'm going to skip Sperry right now. Under Armour's good. Vans I stay away from. I know they haven't had anything in a long time. People say it's fine. Again, it's just one that I've always stayed away from. But from what I understand, the last time I've heard of anybody having problems was several years ago. Wolverine, Workmaster. Again, I've heard Wolverine have issues, but you know, never seen anybody or heard of anybody actually have any major problems with it. So we got enough here. I mean, this is plenty. Of 5 tabs open of all this stuff. Let's see if we can go to we'll narrow it down. We'll go to so 840 items. Relevance doesn't really matter. It's not really searching anything. So I'll do top rated. Since again, shoes are not my forte, so I'll figure let's kind of go through what makes sense here. Some of these I've seen before. I don't know if they sell well. So I'm going to open a new Windows. You can also do things like AZ Insight has ways to click on these links. But in this case, it'll just be easier to kind of go through them. Some of these I'm going to stay away from because I don't know enough about them. Turn soft nitrile trail. 515 is usually good if we can get it at a good price. 6997. That might be right at the borderline of what makes sense there. Chucks are always good. Well, this is just annoying. To have 2 cents less is not really much of a sale, but I get they have to market to show that it's a sale item. It looks like anything ending in 97 is promotions eligible. These are kind of cool. Let's see. Court Legacy Lows. This is where I'm bad at this kind of stuff where everything just looks stupid to me, so I don't click on them. There's probably things that make more sense, but typically I've had good luck with the stuff that looks like relatively normal. Some of these trail running shoes gonna get specific and kind of bulkier when they're trail running, so I don't usually sell a ton of them when I get them, so it's not something I'll click on. I mean, like Air Maxes and stuff. So like some of the stuff is just always going to sell well. Higher top ones. I don't like the whole kids a whole lot because people get confused with the big kids and little kids, and then you get more returns. You already get enough returns on this stuff, so I try to stay away from that. I do like New Balance quite a bit because there typically are not as many returns. You can find them in a lot of different places, but Rack Room usually has some good prices on them as well. Oh, didn't like whatever I clicked there. So anyway, all right. So I guess we're looking at Crocs now. So what I'll do is see this one's annoying. We want to see the price in the cart. All right, so it's 44.97. I'll search for this one. I don't know if you can see where I right click on this when I pull up, but it says AZ Insight, and I can pull up on Amazon. It'll pop up a sidebar, so I kind of see what I'm looking at here and see if it's remotely close. Children's clogs. See, I don't know. Some of these, if they don't have the variations next to it, I won't know if it's a regular or not. So classic, adult, unisex. Let's just click that and see how many come up on here. That's going to pop up a new window where Amazon's in it. If you're not familiar with AZ Insight, yeah, AZ Insight, it'll pop up on the top here. You can make it look different ways. It has a lot of customized options. So you can have it kind of sit in the right column, or you can have it go across the top. In this case, I'm going to have it pop up across the top here. So I see 39. So that's not great looking at that right now. Let's see how many colors they have. Bunch of colors. So it might be the right listing. It just might be too expensive of a thing for it. So here's what I like about it. So here's AZ Insight. It's got calculated variation stock checker. So stock checker is just like looking at your reverse sourcing the different storefronts, and it'll tell you kind of what it looks like they have in stock. Here you can see your FBM offer, your FBA offer. It goes to your buying selling ranks, how many drops it figures. Up here is the estimated sales per month on a total parent. And then you can still get into, if I want to select it to have keep a pop up in here, I can. So this will tell me, no, I'm not eligible to sell this product for whatever reason. Here it'll say I can request approval. Um, Yep, that goes through there. It's not a dangerous good. And then here we have the AZ alert, which I like is a little bit different than some of the other alert stuff that you'll see. So it says claim is verified. Someone got a cease and desist letter in 2020. So as of right now, that's the last one that's been reported to them. That's been last updated on 4/15/24. So you can take a look at it, and anybody can add this in here. So it's like you can kind of crowdsource and say, hey, had a problem with it. Here's the information. It'll ask you to upload paperwork if you can. Again, I can't click anybody's paperwork. It doesn't show any of that stuff, but allows the people behind the scenes to go and look at it and say, okay, yeah, this claim is verified. I haven't seen anyone, and we're in 2024 now, so this probably okay. If you go and look at the Keepa charts on this, even though this is not the one that we'd want, um, even if I go back a year, I see like decreases. Right here is in October, so again, you're talking, you know, then back to school and into um, in Q4. But again, it's not dropping down to one or anything anywhere. They're going through new offers. Everything looks pretty steady. Nothing going crazy here. So again, this is the color black, which I imagine if they were going to IP somebody on, they would send it on this. It says it's 20% off for whatever reason on this one. But what I like about AZ Insight is I can click on variations. It'll pop up this window. Now again, if you have the original settings on, it'll put everything to the right. So you do have to click through your cog wheel and go through all the settings, change some different things around. One thing they are working on is being able to save a customized bar of this so it doesn't just automatically put it in this order and show everything this way. But in this case, puts the ASINs here, has the size, the color, tells me if they're expressed. And here's the big deal here. Right now it's showing, and it's adding more and more as it goes through all this stuff, but it's showing all these different variations are out of stock. So on a lot of the other apps, software that you'll get, it will not show these out of stock items. So if I just wanted to look at the out of stock stuff and say, I want to be the only seller on this, let me see if they have these colors. And yeah, you can see it just going up and up and up. I'm sure that Crocs has a lot of stuff that just doesn't exist anymore, and that's why they're out of stock. But a lot of times you can find some of these gems and you can get into it and you can kind of price it whatever you want as long as you don't get flagged for being too high a price. You'll see there's other ones that are suppressed. I don't want to see the suppressed ones, so I'm going to click that off. So I do want to see the in stock and I do want to see the out of stock. And right now you can see there's already a ton of them coming through here. So the ones that I could see that we were looking at that were on the rack room were going to be these colors here. There's probably a ton of them. Yeah, there's an infinite amount of stuff here. So really what I can do is we can kind of go through and pick and choose to see what makes the most sense on Amazon and come back that way. So I can sort by the price, so landed price and regular price. Just let me do it this way. Click here again. It'll sort everything. And you can sort, it's like this is a pretty advanced thing. It's kind of like an Excel sheet almost. So you can kind of click through and sort through filters, whatever you want to do in this. I can also move these around. So if I don't want one in one section, I can pop it around. Like I said, currently right now, it won't save the order that you have it in. They're working on some pretty cool stuff that they're going to be doing here, and that might be one of them that they get to on this next release. So right now, the most expensive thing is looking at $80. So the problem that I see here is if I'm only getting it at what I say it was the 33.72 is once all the discounts are at. Some of these may not be a high enough margin for me to really want to get into. But let's see, you got banana, tangerine, brown. Those are all the higher priced ones. Jade, pure water. None of that means anything to me, so you're gonna have to click with me on this. Let's see. It'd be nice if I could just highlight over these. Oh, I can. And they'll get tricky with some of this stuff and they'll call it different things. Oh, no, I can't. It'll just click on there. So red. See, this is where people could actually be putting in stuff that's just random names and they're not the actual colors of them. Orange. But there very well could be a tangerine and not an orange. And I would bet there is. Might do some magic editing here. And if I find one that has any of the names we were just looking for, fast forward to that point. Well, anyway, let's just plug in the number to see if it even makes sense to continue this practice here. So if we were getting the most expensive one, what do we say it was? We'll call it their average here is 59. So we'll say $60. $60 up here for the sell price. Go down to the what did I say it was 33.72. 33.73. 33.73. All right. So that is saying a lot of profit. That can't be something didn't update here yet. There it goes. I must have clicked on the wrong thing there. So this one's saying it's $8 profit, 24% ROI, 13% margin. For me, on something like this, it would not be high enough. Now again, if you can order, you know, four of these, so you're getting $5 off each by that the 20 amount. Yeah, so that would be the 28.73. So if you want to do it that way, then it goes to $13, 46% ROI, 22% margin. So if you're okay with ordering, several orders of these, of only ordering four, so that you get the buy one get one 50% off discount, as well as the fireworks discount that gives you the $20 off $100 or more. That is gonna, it's not 20%. Make sure you know that, but it's gonna be $20 off. Then you can go ahead and order these. Now, if you are gated and you want to get ungated in them, you can go ahead and have multiple orders equal up to the amount and then submit that just right on the orders for it to say on the form, say like order one of two or one of three or whatever it ends up being to get you to the 10. And then I'll put you up there. So this is not awful. Again, for shoes, I like to see more profit, but again, this is such a low buy cost that it's hard to get a tremendous amount of profit on some of these. So we'll see what else we can find here as we go through. But that one, I'd say if you can find the Crocs somewhere in, again, a lot of them were there's so many different colors here. I'd imagine that some of them are on this variation. So if I were to go through and scroll down on here, there's a ton of those numbers of the 55, 56, taffy, orange, zing, chocolate, fresco, lemon. There's just black and white. So again, the price starts to drop down a lot. So you just gotta pay attention to it and see, but you'll see the sizes are all here. And you can click through them. But if you're staying in this kind of range with the mineral blue, limeade, check to see if you can find those, and then that'd be a winner. If not, then you can kind of move on from it. Let's go to the next one here. So we'll go to uh, and again, there's cash back on here. I don't include cash back in any of my numbers as far as because it's not a guaranteed. So if I need to cash back to make it to work, it's not something that I'm going to rely on or go to use. So again, we got New Balance here. We got Evaz V3, if I'm saying that right. I don't know a whole lot about that one. I did spend a lot of time with New Balance because it was something that I didn't know a whole lot about and wanted to learn. So what I did is I went to Keepa and I plugged in New Balance, and then I put the rankings in, and then I went and just searched sites based on what the outcome was, and I sorted that whole list by name, so I knew which ones were the 880s, the 860s, the 513s, all the different stuff. I could tell what they looked like, even the different versions of them, the different years that they were, from just looking at them so many times. So if you are absolutely awful at shoes, which something where I continually have to find myself improving on, because it's not something that I spend a tremendous amount of time with. If you're like me with it, then you just need to dive into it and go and look at a lot of them. There's tons of different sites, tons of different information that you can get. Talk to your friends, see what's good. There's just some stuff that's always going to be decent, and you'll start to see that the prices are good, and then you'll get to know that okay, the 89.97, whatever the 25% off that ends up being, if that's that's a minimum threshold that you can get on these pricing, but you might know that that's just not going to work for that type of shoe and those variations. So you just move on past it and look for other stores that might have better deals. So in this case, again, you can easily get to that $20 off by ordering the two. So you order two of these things and keep going with them. If you're trying to ungate New Balance, there's so many shirts. There's all sorts of different stuff that'll work where you don't necessarily have to buy shoes. Um, and we can go through. So let's see. So I pulled up this. This is the Evo's. I think it said V3. Yeah, V3. I don't know what did like move that. I don't like the way that looks, but won't click back to the sidebar. Either way, so let's go through and we'll pull these down. Okay, so this looks like the right shoe. Minus 25%. Gets us to there. Now again, you can get more off of it with that $20 thing. Let's keep it there for right now. Let's see where it ends up getting us. So 6747. So now if I'm pulling this up and I see that price, probably not going to work for most of these. So I'm going to skip past this one. And the quicker you can get rid of them, the faster you're going to be at the manual sourcing. Otherwise, you're just going to sit on it so long. No need to get into all the analytics of it if it just doesn't make sense on the price. The 515 is popular sneaker. Let's probably get it for cheaper than this on some of the other sites. We can take a look at it. Let's see. So this would be, might be some variations they have here that you cannot get on the other sites. So in this case, we'll take a look, pop this up. So yeah, 74 is going here. It's just not going to work out even with the 25% off. So I'm going to skip past that. Again, there might be some variations that are higher, but let's click off of that. Not going to be one that I'm going to want to get. Flyknit Interact. This one, they call it so many different things on here that it could be a pain to try to source, but let's try to see what we can find. It's got a purple on the bottom, the Flyknit weave, orange. But let's see. Okay, Interact. That's not Flyknit. Does it have a skew? Some of the sites will list, like Kohl's will sometimes list the model of it. This one doesn't. We can try to see. Let's see if that's it. Oh, it looks like it. It's just not the color that we're looking for here. So let's see if we can find any of these colors. Obviously, there's more listings because this one only has 3 colors on this listing. It's got the silver, so it's just white. Silver in the bottom is like a gray, it looks like. Now, normally when I'm sourcing, I'll have this up on several different windows, so I'm not clicking back and forth to it. I'll open the Amazon, the separate ones. I can look at side by side. You can source however you want to, but that's going to be the way that I do it. So then that way I'm not clicking back and forth. I can just look at them and I can eliminate them faster. So in this case, let's see. Is this the white? That is white, but that is not what we're looking for. That's got different options. Let's see what this one is. That looks more like it. Gray bottom, silver side. What do I do here? Okay. That looks like it. All right. So I know that I can get it. I know that it has sizes. It's women's Flyknit. It looks like everything is all the same. I believe it's this, and you may look at this and someone might be laughing, saying it's absolutely not the right thing, but to me it looks like it. Got the little side waffle thingy there. I'm gonna go with that's the same thing. So anyway, so let's click in here. This one was listed at the $79.97. It's got the promotions in there. So we'll pull up our handy dandy calculator. 79.97 minus 25%. That's going to give us, let's call it 50 or 60 bucks without thinking about it. So let's plug it in here to see if this is even remotely close. And it brings it down to, yeah, that to me, that's good. If that's find the size, what size? 7.5. Now we don't know how well this one sells. It says estimated 50. So again, there's probably a better variation or a better ASIN than whatever this one is, because only 50 would scare me a little bit if I was looking at the offer counts. This one has zero FBA offers within 3% of the lowest FBA. I like it when it flags that, because then that tells me that, look, there's just nobody that's competitive at the FBA number there. And if I look at what it was recently, it dropped down to 86, and I'm not sure what that reasoning was, but 90 days and 180 days, it was 114. So I'm gonna, keep that same type of number there. Again, the lowest might be lower for the sale going on or whatever the reasoning is. So in this, I can go and look at. Again, just to show you can dig into it more. This does take a second to pop up because it's calculating a lot of different things when you pull this, and it'll highlight the different colors. So you have, you can see if it's FBA lowest price, the FBA seller, FBM lowest price, FBM sellers, Amazon general. So that way you can kind of quickly just scroll through this and see. It'll list what it thinks their quantity of the product is here. Most of them have it at 1 or 2, so they could be plugging that in and it just say that, or they are um, actually only have 1 or 2. So in this case, someone hex deals, they're listed at a lot lower than everybody else, and their FBA, which seems like a wasted opportunity to me. If you are FBA, you would typically look. You could sell it at that 115 if it's still moving at that price, and get that buy box because you are FBA. So I don't know if they're newer. Well, they're not newer. They have a decent amount of ratings. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe somebody new joined their team and plugged it in, or they're just getting a heck of a deal on something. So in this case, I'll go back into the variations here because I want to see what um, uh, the best what I can get. So it's going to highlight whatever I have selected, just calling it white. So I'm going to hope that that's white and it's not like white, something else, but let's just call it white. So then that way, when I go into here, actually, I might have to click into filters. Oops. All right. So this one is going to be equals white, because if we just have contains white, anything that says white in it is going to pop up. So you can see it says it there. That's good. That's what I want. It'll have the different sizes. So now I can either go by the rating percentage, which is something that I'll use as an indicator to say, all right, this is hitting the buy box at whatever rating percent. And really, there's nothing listed for any other items other than the size 7.5. To me, that's a little weird, but again, on this particular product, we did see that it only has a few different colors, so it might be something where it's a newer product, and we want to be careful on it. So in this, I might only want to sell the 7.5 because it looks like 25% of the sales are going to there. So let's go back and that's at so currently no price on 7.5. Let's double check that. There's 7.5. Why didn't that come up on here? What am I looking at wrong? Oh, yeah, for some reason it wasn't showing. There it is. Um, Not sure why it's showing up that way. But either way, we can see what it is by clicking on it. And we can go through the calculator and we can see what it's listing currently. So if this we know we get at 60, and that's $28 profit, ROI at 47%, margin. This one's definitely a winner. This is one that I would buy. Now again, if this is getting 25% of the 50 here, that was at uh 10 or 12 units a month that's selling. So now it's got several people on it, but it's only one FBA. Hopefully that person sells out and then you can continue selling at the 114. So this is one that I would, if I'm never sold this before, I would buy 6 or 10 of it and be okay with selling it of that size. Whenever you sell these smaller ones, you got to be careful because they're just, a lot of times they're not going to sell real great, but this is a women's size, so it's probably actually pretty popular. Anytime that I see these things like white, I know that these are going to do great at back to school. So it's one that I would feel pretty comfortable buying. I have my prep costs in there, everything broken down, and everything else looks good. So yeah, this would be one. Now, if I want to look at, okay, it's really low right now. Can I make money on it even if it drops down to worst case? This is something that some of our other friends will do on it. Look, you still profit. Now, if it gets returns on it, you're not going to profit because you're going to eat the referral fees. But this is something that tells me that you can go ahead and still make money on it, even if it drops down to the lowest amount, which again, I don't think that you're going to necessarily have to sell it at just that price. So we can continue going through these, but basically that's what I do is I go and I pull these things up. I go through one by one, and it's going to be, you get a lot of people that can source this stuff much quicker than what I'm doing. Um, Once you get used to seeing all these different variations, seeing all these different products, you're going to know that okay, this Swift 3, shoe is just this is not the lowest price I can find it at, Kohl's or something for $54 or whatever. Now this is promotions on it and all that, but you can find it for lower pricing. You might know all that stuff, but places like Rack Room that have the stackable coupons with it, I know that if I go ahead and I buy this shoe, that it comes up saying, okay, I'm going to make, what was it, the 114. Um, But if I'm going to make $27 on it, but now I know that if I can buy two of these and I get it $10 off, each one of them basically because I'm getting $20 off over 100. So now I'm getting this for $50, and I want to place the 5 orders in a day of doing that, which then you'd get your 10 shoes. If I go ahead and plug that in, then all of a sudden I'm at a much higher amount. So now you're at $37 profit. So it's almost you can't lose on something like this. Now, for quantity sellers, it's going to be very difficult to scale at a store like Rack Room just because they do have limits. But I mean, you might as well go ahead and get this, free money that they're basically handing out, saying, "Hey, take this, buy this." This is a couple shoes that I've pulled up, and this is obviously one that's a good one. But anything that's white or black or those basic colors that you can find, I mean, some of these are going to be kind of wild. I'd be surprised if some of these make money. But again, anything like this shoe here, this Malden Street sneaker boot in black, that doesn't have the promotions excluded on that one, but it's still, I bet you this shoe can still make money. Um, Anything that's like this that has those kind of colors on it is going to be a sought after shoe, and there's a reason the promotions are excluded because they know that they're going to sell it even at that price. So just for the sake of pulling this up and to just show that even without the promotions on it, and again, I was still checked if that fireworks one works because just because the promotion doesn't work on the individual, the buy one get one 50%. We can check to see if this will work on the other ones. So this is a shoe. I forget what it said right there. It is selling at $106. So if we are getting it for $65, let's wait for it to pull up. And again, a lot of the Converse stuff is going to be unisex on most of the listings. So you'll see the 10 women, 8 men. Just pay attention to that. And if you're sending it into your prep center, you definitely want to mark which one it's going on because a lot of times they'll look at it and they might actually just assign it the wrong thing. Especially if you're buying 10 different sizes and send them in, they are going to get confused. So absolutely make sure that you are flagging it and saying which one you're putting onto. That's happened to me from personal experience, and it was a pain in the butt to get everything back. Don't do that. Okay, so again, here's $60, $19 profit. Again, I try to make $20 profit off of mine, so it's right there at that. I think my prep center charges a little bit more than $1.20 for shoes, but it's somewhere around there. Then the ROI is 33%, margins are 18%. Now, I would check this one, like I said. Let's go ahead and we'll add it to cart and see if we can get the fireworks deal with it. I'll add another one to cart, so it gets that amount. Let's go to our cart here. And we'll go in here and we'll type in fireworks and see if it'll allow. Now it's saying it's promotional. I'm gonna get cash back to add into this too. Fireworks or fireworks. No, won't let it. So yeah, so none of them are gonna work for that. So it doesn't matter what you put in here or how many you buy. If you're ungated in it and you want to throw that on, you can go ahead and buy what you want there and you can make money. Okay, that was one variation. I'm sure there's other variations that do well. Um, But yeah, you can make money off it there. And I didn't even check if there's any gift cards. They might be able to go into top cashback gift cards. You could check any of the card cash gift cards, see if there's rack room. If you're able to do all that stuff, you're just creating that moat. So if people do get on here and tank it, then you can go ahead and still make some money. Rather than click through this and make this a 2-hour video, I'm going to call it on this one. But yeah, if you have any questions, you want to join us into FBA Basecamp, it's fbabasecamp.com. You can click on join our free Discord and free Facebook group. Click around on there. There's lots of large sellers and helpful people that are in all those groups. We have access to different leads lists through people. We drop the A-to-A flip leads a bunch. Yeah, kind of tell us what you want, content that you want. We'll keep putting it out. We appreciate you spending the time with us. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach out to us.